To know yourself is to protect yourself. Because in the architecture of consciousness, nothing you ever encounter is truly external. Every being, entity, or archetype is a reflection of your own internal frequency. A mirror revealing to you what you're holding within your field, suppressing or amplifying. Today, we're going to talk about the powerful being in which you are and how you're consistently manifesting, whether you're conscious or unconscious of it. And this is about taking accountability for the creator in which you are. And that means taking accountability for your creations. I'm hearing creating responsibly. That's something that you've also been doing. So with that being said, I'm going to actually show you some illustrations as I explain to you what today's topic entails, so that it can help you really visualize the depths in which we're going to dive into. So with that being said, to know yourself is to protect yourself. You see, there are no random encounters in the unseen realms. There is only resonance. You do not attract what you consciously want. You attract what the subconscious broadcasts. The frequencies encoded into your emotional body, your DNA, your chakras, and your morphic field. This is why sovereignty begins with self-awareness, and why protection begins with truth. You see, so-called lower vibrational beings like shadows, parasites, or draconian entities are not inherently malevolent beings. Instead, they are mirrors of your own unprocessed emotions. They're shapes that your subconscious takes when filtered through emotions like fear, shame, fragmentation, or unresolved trauma, maybe even identity wounds or survival states. These forms appear when your energy body is in distortion. They are not the other. They are you, in a specific frequency state, a memory form that has gained shape. By the same truth, higher dimensional beings, crystalline, angelic, luminous forms, are also refractions of you and your coherence, your self-love, your neutrality, your expanded awareness, and your harmonic emotional signature. They appear when the heart, mind, and energy body are aligned. Wherever you travel in consciousness, whether it be in the astral plane, in dreams, or higher dimensional realms that you'll dwell in, you'll meet beings who match the current state of consciousness that you're inhabiting. This isn't about you actually entering into new realms. Instead, you're unveiling new layers within yourself. Fear-coded archetypes arise when the lower chakras, the root, sacral, and solar plexus, are dysregulated. They can manifest as chaotic beings, predatory or parasitic entities, red or shadow-coded forms, distorted humanoids, or even fragmented versions of you. They reflect where your consciousness is still entangled with survival instincts, abandonment wounds, shame programs, energy leakage, or unresolved memory loops. They're not here to harm you. They're here to show you what still needs integration. Love-coded archetypes will appear when the central channel is open and energy is flowing upwards. These beings are crystalline, iridescent, geometric, tall, calm, and coherent, telepathic, angelic, or hybrid-like. And they're the frequency of sovereign selfhood, stable identity, as well as emotional integration that leads to inner harmony and expanded perception. They're not separate guides. They are you existing in a higher octave, and the archetypes that will manifest through the natural laws of that dimensional field or that dimensional environment. These are archetypes that manifest due to the natural laws of that dimension. So it's the form that you would take dwelling in those realms, essentially, right? The forms that you would take dwelling in the lower realms or the higher realms. That's how you can think about it. Your chakras are not just energy centers. They're dimensional interfaces. Each one governs the type of beings or archetypes and vibrational fields that you'll perceive. The lower chakra leads to fear-coded, density-based archetypes. The heart can become the bridge determining how the archetypes appear. The throat can reveal the timeline expressing archetypes, like identity shifts. The third eye could be symbolic beings in etheric forms or multidimensional intelligences. And the crown is this source-reflective archetype in unity-coded beings. The central channel is the serpent path, where duality merges. When Ida, the feminine lunar channel, and Pingala, the masculine solar channel, unify, the serpent rises. This opens the pineal gland, unlocks interdimensional perception, and reveals the true nature of every realm you enter. And it's never the beings that change, it's the lens in how you perceive them that changes. Every entity you perceive becomes a master only if you abandon yourself. Fear-filled beings appear because fear exists within you. Parasitic energies appear when you leak your own life force. Chaotic beings arise when your nervous system is dysregulated. Draconian archetypes appear when you're not standing in your boundaries. This is not punishment, it's biological truth. Your field shows you what you're ready to transform. And when your awareness returns to the 0 point, the still, neutral center, the distortion dissolves instantly. Neutrality is the sword. Self-awareness is the shield. And unconditional love is your armor. Your internal state must remain the same in the presence of a draconian archetype as it does in the presence of an angelic one. This is the essence of 0 point consciousness. The still, unshaken center where nothing can pull you into fear or inflate you with illusion. Every archetype you encounter is shaped by your own resonance. Hidden core beliefs acting as tuning forks, drawing in beings that match what you have not yet integrated. If you attract parasites, it means that there's a parasitic pattern within you, a way that you abandon your own energy, leak life force, or give yourself away unconsciously. To be powerful is to take absolute responsibility for your creation, not through shame, but through truth. We create from the subconscious layers of identity, the emotional signatures held across lifetimes. Every fear you carry is not from this life alone. It's an echo of timelines where you felt unsafe, unseen, or unprotected. When you transcend a fear, you liberate a fractal of your soul that has been frozen in that memory. Its power returns to you, its wisdom returns to you, and you anchor that recovered piece into the present version of self. Protection is not force. Protection is awareness. Show your true self by staying grounded, staying neutral, staying in your body. The moment you collapse into fear, your frequency drops and you descend into fear-coded realms. But when you return to unconditional self-love, the love that recognizes every part of you is worthy, a field of coherence forms around you. From the 0 point, unconditional love arises naturally. It becomes the most powerful and potent force field that you have. An inner radiance that dissolves distortion and calls forth only high vibrational beings. Energetic hygiene is not a spiritual ornament. It's the physics of how your bioelectrical system stays clear in a realm built from contrast, sensation, emotion, and charge. Your body carries ancient wisdom encoded in DNA, the architecture for human potential, intuition, and multidimensional perception. We operate through layers of consciousness, fractals of self, and dimensional bodies that coexist and communicate simultaneously. As the planet's vibration rises, your internal sensitivity amplifies. Every organism feels this shift. This is why energetic hygiene becomes essential for psychological stability, clear intuition, and accurate discernment. When your chakra spheres collect debris, emotional residue, ancestral memory, environmental charge, life force can no longer move freely. But when you clear these blocks, your energy becomes symmetrical, geometric, and conducive, just like healthy DNA. Your vibrational signature is shaped by the way you hold your emotions, the beliefs you carry, and the way your energy flows. As you release old contractions, your DNA activates. As your DNA activates, your field expands. And as your field expands, you perceive reality through higher bandwidths of truth. You're not the physical body, you're the light animating it. Overwhelm is not a failure. It's a sign you've disconnected from your center and are absorbing collective signals. Emotions are temporary waves in the nervous system meant to be felt and released, not heard. Resisting emotion creates stagnation. Stagnation becomes somatic memory, and somatic memory becomes illness. As you follow emotions to their root, you discover the places where fractals of your soul became suspended in traumatic timelines. When you bring presence, compassion, and breath to those moments, life force returns to you. This is integration, this is deprogramming, and it's energetic hygiene. Because as you clear your internal debris, your field becomes coherent, which is the true architecture of your sovereignty. I'm going to speak about a personal encounter with sleep paralysis because I've had this numerous times growing up. I was always very predisposed to sleep paralysis, I guess you could say. And I had tactile, auditory, visual, all different kinds. And until I really learned energetic hygiene and also cultivating the 0 point, I was not really able to master multidimensional travel or communication. So I'm going to share with you my experience, how that differed so many years later. And again, time is a spherical model, so we come back to the same events, but we're seated at a higher, resolution where we understand how to navigate these circumstances. So now I had a completely different level of awareness. So as we fall asleep, the veil thins. And as the veil thins, your awareness begins to stretch beyond the physical plane. You naturally become more sensitive to the realms that sit between waking and dreaming. The astral, the etheric, the emotional, the dimensional layers where your subconscious architecture expresses itself as form. One of the clearest examples of this is sleep paralysis. Most people experience it as terror because the nervous system is frozen, while the astral body is still partially active. But in truth, sleep paralysis is a dimensional intersection point, a moment when you are conscious enough to witness the beings that live in your own field. So again, I had this recent encounter that changed my relationship with these beings entirely. This was a predatory presence that appeared beside me. A draconian, archonic silhouette with a frequency of dominance and control. And in the past, I would have reacted with fear, but this time, I asked a very different question. I asked myself, is this being acting from love or fear? And the moment I asked that, I realized something. This being was not external. It was a frequency within me, a fractured part of my own subconscious, an octave of unintegrated fear forming itself into an archetype. Instead of rejecting it, I accepted it, not as a threat, but as a lost fragment of myself asking to be acknowledged. The instant I met it with unconditional love, not emotional love, but the love that comes from recognition, the being began to dissolve. Its form broke apart like smoke returning to light. But it was never an enemy. It was a thought form projected from a part of my own field that had been waiting to be seen, held, and integrated. This is what happens when you observe with neutrality rather than fear. Predators, they become wounded aspects. The monsters become mirrors. Draconians become distorted memories, and archons become collapsed belief structures. And entities, well, they become information. Because when you stop running, the archetype stops chasing. When you stop fearing it, it stops feeding on fear. And when you recognize it as part of you, it integrates into you. This is the essence of multidimensional mastery. You're not being attacked by entities. You're meeting the parts of yourself you have not yet loved. And as you integrate them, your relationship with the unseen realm transforms. Fear dissolves and power stabilizes. Your sovereignty becomes unshakable. And the beings that once appeared threatening reveal themselves as your own lost fragments, returning home. Every manifestation, conscious or unconscious, is an echo of your vibrational state at the time that it was created. This isn't about blame, but it's about self-recognition. Your field is always broadcasting, your subconscious is always shaping, and your energy is always in dialogue with the unseen realms. To step into multidimensional mastery means to take full responsibility for the frequency you hold, not in a self-punishing way, but in a self-honoring way. When something appears in your reality, a person, an archetype, a being, an experience, the most powerful question that you can ask is, what state of consciousness was I in when this arrived? Because your vibration is the invitation. Your belief becomes the blueprint, and your emotional signature, well, it's the architect. Responsibility is not about guilt. It's about sovereignty. It's about understanding that nothing enters your field without resonance. And when you acknowledge that resonance, whether it come from fear, longing, insecurity, or love, you reclaim authorship over your reality. Accountability is liberation. It gives you the power to shift your frequency, and by doing so, you shift what you attract. When you own your creations, even the uncomfortable ones, you become the one who can rewrite them. This is how integration begins. It's how sovereignty stabilizes, and it's how you stop reacting to the universe and begin co-creating with it consciously. Accountability, it's liberation. Otherwise, you'll live in fear under the illusion of separation. Energetic hygiene is not about protection from the outside world. It's about clarity within your own field. Your boundaries are not walls, they're frequency settings. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you suppress or express, every story that you attach to becomes a signal emitted in the morphic field. If your boundaries are unclear, then your field becomes porous, and anything matching your unprocessed frequencies will enter. Energetic hygiene means that you're noticing where your energy leaks. Where is the external realm governing your internal state? It's also observing what triggers lead to what contractions within your body. You can also recognize when someone activates an old emotional pattern and begin to close doors that drain you as you redirect your attention back into your center. It's a practice of choosing which vibrations you amplify and which ones you no longer consent to carry. A sovereign field is not guarded, it's clean, coherent, and self-authored. Your boundaries are simply you saying, only what resonates with my truth will remain in my field. This is not protection through force, it's protection through frequency. And when you maintain energetic hygiene through awareness, neutrality, and self-respect, your field becomes impenetrable. Not because it's hard, but because it's coherent. Every plane you travel through, astral, emotional, causal, mental, galactic, it's populated by beings aligned with its frequency. On fear planes, you may run into fragmented archetypes. On desired planes, there could be hybrid entities that are born from longing. On emotional planes, there could be symbolic beings that are shaped by narrative. Mental planes will be geometric or instructive intelligences. And galactic planes are highly coherent, crystalline, and multidimensional expressions of you. You're not encountering species. You're encountering planes of your own consciousness, expressed through the morphic field and reflected back to you through form. And when your field becomes love-coded, creation becomes sacred. So, with that being said, my love, I am actually going to do a quick reading for you just because I want this to kind of be its own, hold its own. But I do want to open up with just a galactic light activation message and see what's being activated at the time that you draw this into your field. Let's see. So we have Seraphim's Gateway. If this isn't high activation beings, we have 3 messages. Wow. So Seraphim's Gateway, voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. So you could be working with the Seraphims. You could also be calling in the Seraphims. Again, this is higher dimensional beings. Super, super powerful because you have memories of Atlantis. This also talks about thought forms. So this is work that you have essentially always been destined to come back into alignment with, but it's something that you've done in a parallel life, okay, in a past life from Atlantis. Then you also have Earth Star activation, and also the memory of how to work with this also lies within your DNA because you are composed of the cells of planet Earth, right? This vessel is, which stores the DNA of all beings that have walked upon this planet. Okay, so we also have Earth Star activation, anchoring, grounded action, and Isis energy. 3 of, honestly, the most powerful cards. So I'm going to go ahead and read and dissect this for you. Now you also have Star Gathering here at the base, which is stars aligned, remembering home, and soul family. So you could be calling in soul family for sure, but this is a Star Gathering energy. Let me go ahead and read these for you. Seraphim's Gateway, voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. The Seraphim are the highest form of angelic beings who are said to radiate from the heart of Source. They've been described in many different ways through the ages, but What is common is the idea that a brilliant light emanates from them. And what's super interesting is this is like an archetype, right? But then what's even more interesting is Memories of Atlantis also speaks about thought forms. It reminds me of the Lumeria card as well. So this is almost like thought forms in your field that you're tuning into with the High Priestess. So I'm seeing you work with these different kind of projections of your subconscious mind as well. So, and the beautiful thing is, as you travel between these different, dimensional realms, again, dimensions are not spatial concepts. The brain is formatted to believe they're actually frequencies that are self-organized. So, as you move through these different frequencies, there are other beings and archetypes that manifest in those realms. And I'm seeing, Isis could be one that you're definitely working with. The fact that Isis also came up for sure. So these are beings of light and are essentially divine love that is taking on an angelic form in order to serve the universe. But when they have appeared psychically, they've been described to have 6 wings, and they're known for their heavenly voices. In fact, miraculous planetary shifts are reported to take place when they sing in the heavenly realm. So this reminds you of also plasma beings, and you're also bioplasma beings, but this is beings that are part of a counterpart Earth. And part of a counterpart Earth is just a layer of this reality that is operating in higher bandwidths of frequency light. So there's a rapid oscillation when we talk about the spin of the cell. And that basically means that you can't see it with the human eyes, but you can see it through the lens of the soul. So it's you being always surrounded in ways that the human can't look at, but you can see, okay? When you tune into your third eye, your primary antenna, when navigating multiple dimensions, that actually becomes almost your X-ray vision, if you will, where you can kind of see layers of reality that you're always coexisting with. But anyway, they're part of a counterpart Earth, so they dwell between this dimension and the other. Sometimes they manifest into physical form, sometimes they say as guides in your field, but they're always beings that will assist you when it comes to returning back to your plasma-like state, which is more fluid in nature and also more infinite. So I'm just seeing something being activated in your field where this is like helping hands, it's like people coming in that assist you, beings that are assisting you. Anyway, this also talks about they don't operate in a linear way. This is the best way that we can understand the process. So your message from it is you are blessed to receive the light of the seraphim. You can know that these beings of divine light are singing your name in the heavens to unlock the power of your own voice. Angelic support surrounds you at this time. Know that you're safe, for you are being held by the presence of love. The seraphim are witnessing the glory of your being and activating your angelic qualities. You care deeply about the welfare of the planet and all of her beings. In fact, you are hoping to make a great difference in the world. And for this reason, you're carrying angelic light. Let it shine on the world around you. So yeah, this is definitely again like angelic energy. I'm folding it backwards. It's late, guys. So yeah, Seraphim's Gateway. Let me go ahead and find Memories of Atlantis. Memories of Atlantis, spiritual acceleration, progress, and technology. So, this is about extremely psychic, telepathic beings who were known for their ability to combine the laws of science and spirituality to develop technology and create heaven on earth. But somewhere along the way, many of them stopped respecting their gifts and spiritual connection. Their disrespect for the earth and ocean caused a great cataclysm that brought their civilization to an end. The Atlanteans, who had continued to live with spiritual integrity, had an awareness of what was to come and were able to achieve full ascension and move beyond the physical realm to that of light. They are now a congregation of evolved souls who, like angels and masters, work with those upon planet Earth who are following the ascension path in alignment with devotion and love. If this card comes up for you, you have a strong energy and it seems familiar, it's a good chance that you were a former Atlantean who didn't honor your spiritual connection and now being given an opportunity to avoid making the same mistake. Okay, this is super interesting, right? Then you also have your being transported through a gateway to connect with the ancient Atlantis. Know that by drawing this card, you're receiving blessings from the Atlantean Council of Light, who are dedicated to the evolution of the soul. You're becoming aware of your gifts, and this is an exciting time, but also a time when the energies of your ego can become loud and obnoxious. Know that this gateway is appearing to remind you to stay aligned with the highest good and rooted in the energies of devotion. Then there can be a great coming together of the human and spiritual, and you can live in a more evolved way. Yeah. Now let me go ahead and read Earth Star Chakra and Earth Star Activation. It's one of my favorite cards here, and it hasn't come out in a while. So, Earth Star activation. The Earth Star is found 6 to 12 inches, which is 15 to 30 centimeters below our feet. It's the energetic portal that connects us directly with the soul wisdom of Mother Earth. It's our gateway to the underworld of the earth, a space of sacred magic and mystery where we will find a lot of the tools, gifts, and skills that the ancients used to connect with the earth and her wisdom. The Egyptian goddess Isis appears on the card as a guide. She is a high priestess of the stars who knows the importance of connecting with the underworld to stay grounded, aware, and manifest all that we need to grow. Follow in her footsteps by connecting to the Earth Star, anchor down and go digging within to find any parts of your magic and wisdom and experiences that have been pushed down, both in this incarnation and previous lifetimes. These tools can be helpful on the next leg of your journey. When you draw this card, know that your Earth Star is being activated and the wisdom you once ignored is finally being acknowledged. The rejected parts of yourself are now being rediscovered, right? This is like rejected thought forms in your field and the different archetypal manifestations, and you're reclaiming your power. There is an opportunity to rediscover magic too, but stay firmly rooted in all of your endeavors. Let the earth hold and sustain you. Don't rush ahead. And in fact, if you've been wondering if this is the time to move forward, know that it isn't. Stay put for the time being. Important information is to be revealed. So wait and stand strong. This is a time of integration and rest rather than pushing forward. Great wisdom lies within you. Dive deep and find it, and trust in yourself. You have more strength than you realize. With that being said, I'm going to love and leave you guys right there. I really hope that you found this message useful for your journey. This is definitely one to play back whenever you are kind of again dealing with thought forms and how to begin to shift your perception, right? To shift your framework and how you're viewing your relationship to them. When you shift your thoughts, you'll change your emotional state and your energetic signature, which will ultimately change the way that you experience it and your relationship to them, which is also you. So it's really the relationship to yourself. But with that being said, I'm gonna love and leave you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'm on Instagram for future reads. Do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around, especially if you've watched up until this point. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Archetypes if you're looking for some high quality AAA graded jewelry. You have 2 discount codes for that in the description box. One of the proceeds are donated towards Otter Wildlife. And I'm gonna let you go until next time. Bye. Oh, let me know in the description box, not in the description box, in the comment section. I'm tired, guys. Let me know in the comment section, are there any kind of archetypal manifestations in your field that maybe you first felt shameful about or you wanted to naturally reject, but you actually ended up accepting, right? Have you kind of changed your relationship? Are there ones for if you think that you're open-minded? Are you open-minded enough to see where you're still closed-minded?